That's direct investing. That's Harris Direct.
Pikes Peak, where the wind breaks the speed limit, the snowfall breaks the records, and a single company breaks from the status quo. Audi, the only luxury car company with Quattro all-wheel drive in every model line.
Stamps. At supermarkets. Stamps. By phone. Stamps. Online. Stamps. At ATMs. Along with your local post office, wherever you find this symbol, you'll find stamps. Conveniently located. Brought to you by the United States Postal Service.
World-class competition. How do you stand out? With talent, hard work, by maintaining your focus, no matter how tough the competition. We follow the same principles in investing. Talk to your advisor about Oppenheimer funds, the right way to invest.
For over 8 years, DirecTV has brought America the best in television entertainment, and our customers have shown their appreciation in many unique ways. We simply figured it was an emotion they couldn't put into words. Until now. DirecTV, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction among satellite and cable subscribers by J.D. Power and Associates. Get a 2-room DirecTV system with installation for under $50.
This is NBC meteorologist Joe Whitty. Look for some soaking rains up the East Coast from North Carolina northward. Rainfall totals of 1 to 2 inches. Out west, sunshine and 84 in L.A. by the afternoon.
U.S. bishops who negotiated with the Vatican say they haven't weakened the Dallas policy on clergy abuse. They say their policy on sexually abusive priests will rid the church of molesters. The bishops are expected to approve a revised plan tomorrow. Victims claim the new proposal is a step back from promises the church made earlier this year. John Malveau's lawyer will try to get the statements barred from his trial on grounds that he was questioned without his court-appointed guardian or attorney. This after a run of leaks about what he has reportedly told police. His attorneys could also use the leaks to request a transfer of the trial from the Washington area. In California now, Long Beach police say they have arrested a man believed to be the Belmont Shores rapist. Authorities say DNA evidence links Mark Rathbun to more than a dozen of 31 attacks on women since 1996. Bail is set at $2 million. INS officials say 8 Cubans who flew from Cuba to Key West, Florida aboard an antiquated 2-seater cargo plane will be released to their relatives in the U.S. The plane landed in Key West yesterday morning, accompanied by 2 U.S. fighter jets. Cuba calls the flight an act of air piracy. Nearly 200 passengers on a Holland America cruise ship are sick with a stomach virus. Dozens had to disembark before the ship arrived back at port on Monday in Florida. About 600 workers spent more than 10 hours scrubbing down the ship before it departed on another 10-day Caribbean cruise yesterday. The next Emmys may be on cable. Right now, HBO and the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences have a tentative 5-year deal for the show. The Academy wanted a $10 million annual license fee, and the Big Four networks balked. Coincidentally, HBO has been winning more and more Emmys for its shows. And Noah Wyle has been nominated but never won an Emmy for his role on ER, and now he has a new role, Dad. Owen Strasser Wiley was born Saturday at a Los Angeles area hospital. This is the first child for the Wileys. Congratulations. I'm Nanette Hansen. This is Early Today on NBC.
Hello, everybody.
Friday on Today.
It's me here.
Phil Collins live on the Plaza. Brought to you by the Incredible Edible Egg. Only on Today on NBC.
Is this you? If it is, get ready for the next level in hands-free technology. The Z, the ultimate high-performance headset. The scientifically designed sound channeler drives sound directly into your inner ear. A unique 45-degree omnidirectional mic behind a spoon design cups sound from your voice, allowing you to be heard clearly. The special SureHole design provides a safe, snug, comfortable fit. So effective, you can hear well even with your windows open. In extremely noisy environments, it has an extra earbud for stereo-like sound. You can even use the Z with a regular cordless phone. The Z is not available in stores, but it can be yours for this one-time offer of $19.95. Call the number on the screen or visit our website to order your Z and get a 30-minute Z phone card free. Get your Z now. If your Z isn't everything we've said, just return it for a full refund and keep the card.
Wireless Z. It's a hands-free miracle. Hey, do you Z?
Good morning. 4 minutes before 5 a.m. 56 degrees. A little humid out there on a Tuesday morning, the 12th day of November, 2002, as the city stretches and yawns. Welcome, everybody, and good morning. I'm Maurice Dubois.
And I'm Jane Hansen. Topping our news at this hour, a day of sadness in Queens for the families who lost loved ones on Flight 587.
Then a strike threat by teachers in Ridgewood. The negotiations continue through the night.
And then let's talk about a service in shutdown at two busy subway stops, forcing a lot of people into a much longer commute. That's not good.
Weather picture out there, a little soupy right now.
It's going to get a lot soupy later on today, too. If you didn't get enough rain yesterday, there's plenty more coming. This storm system has moved up in its time frame. Not much showing yet on Doppler 4000, but I'm going to open that scope wider a little bit later on this morning, show you where all the rain is coming from, let you know when it's finally going to end, too. That's coming up.
Okay. Thank you very much. Also, stocks dropping and corporate scandals, just some big economic issues. We're going to talk with CNBC's Ron Insana with a new book.
Then personalizing your jeans with all kinds of new ways to do that. Omar Wassa will show that, how to add the personal touch to your clothing.
Then my special report, Living Large in America. Today we're going to talk with Al Roker, 100 pounds lighter, how a life alternating decision changed his life. Altering decision. Okay, I'm going to get it together.
Let's get started.
Tuesday morning on Today in New York.
Let's do it.
Jewelry Factory is a direct diamond importer and has their factory in full view. The Jewelry Factory has thousands of diamonds, most with GIA or EGL certs, laser inscribed and guaranteed the lowest price. We have thousands of mountings to choose from, and your diamond is then set while you watch. Certified 1-carat ISI diamonds are only $2,900 and 1-carat solitaires are $599. Our new high-end cabinets have hundreds of rare high-end items. You can't beat our deals. Buy Factory Direct and Save, the Jewelry Factory in Hackensack.
I'm Neil Patron, President, with Aquarium Power Filters from Hagen.
Hagen's complete line of aquarium filtration will purify the water in your aquarium to provide a longer and healthier life for your fish. Hagen has the ultimate filter that's right for your aquarium and budget.
Come to Petland Discounts for the Hagen line of fine aquarium filtration.
Some drivers seem to be angry with anything that doesn't have 4 wheels. If you're ever hurt in a bike accident, call Jacoby & Myers. We have 2 million satisfied clients and over 30 years of experience at getting clients the money they need to help rebuild their lives.
So you get into something like this or an accident does happen to you, I say you better get a good lawyer, and Jacoby & Myers should be that lawyer because they're going to take care of you.
Count on us. 1-877-JM-LAWYER.
Shakin' wacky sound driver from Shellcore Toys. Let it shine.
You're watching NBC4 New York, the Tri-State News Channel. And now, Jane Hansen, Maurice Dubois, Chris Cimino, and Otis Livingston. This is News Channel 4 Today in New York.
A day to remember. 1 year later, families of victims of Flight 587 head back to the crash site for a memorial.
In Ridgewood, negotiations continue at this hour where teachers have threatened to go on strike.
And get ready to wait on 2 congested subway lines in the city today. It is a Tuesday, the 12th of November. Welcome, everybody, to Today New York, and good morning. I'm Maurice Dubois.
And I'm Jane Hansen. We'll get to all of our news in a moment, but first let's talk to Chris. 56 right now. Pretty sticky out there, but temperature's going down.
Yeah, we're peaking early this
sticky
morning.
Factor going up?
Pretty much. It's going to get from sticky to very wet a little bit later on today, and the temperatures are going to drop as that rain starts to move on in. We're at 56 now. The sky is cloudy. The front that came through yesterday with the showers has stalled along the coast, and a storm system over the Carolinas will move northward along that front today, and that's why we expect the rain to redevelop. Temperatures in the low and mid 50s in the city, but cooler to the north, and we're going to have a northeast wind today that will pull in those cooler temperatures. But you can see the rain gathering strength to the south and west across Virginia and West Virginia. That is all heading in our direction. That extends all the way back towards the Gulf Coast states. So once this rain moves in, it's going to be with us for a while. Weather menu, we start out just cloudy, but no rain through the morning hours, early morning at least. Then it looks like the rain moves in by lunchtime, about 53, and we drop to the upper 40s with heavier rain by the dinner hour. Good soaking, maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain possible with this storm. And then we'll slowly clear things out. I'll tell you when that's going to happen, and we'll take a peek at the rest of the forecast in just a few minutes.
Okay, keep you hopping.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Let's hop on over to Trish, see what's happening. Good morning. No traffic?
No.
Okay, we'll move on to do some news.
We will indeed. Hundreds of victims of Flight 587 will be remembered today near Belle Harbor. It was a year ago that a plane from Kennedy Airport crashed, killing all 260 on board and 5 on the ground. Let's go to Carolyn Gussoff. She is at Jacob Riis Park this morning with more on the memorial. Carolyn?
Well, Jane, it was in fact 1 year ago this morning that 260 people boarded American Airlines Flight 587 from Kennedy Airport headed towards the Dominican Republic, and of course they never made it. At exactly 9:16 in the morning, just moments into the flight, something went terribly wrong. The tail of the Airbus came off and the plane spiraled out of control, crashing into Belle Harbor. All 260 people on board died, plus 5 people on the ground. Now today there's still so many more questions, but today, on this day, the 1-year anniversary, it is a day for honoring the victims, people heading on vacations, on business trips, and many of them heading home or to visit family members. We spoke with the surviving family members of those victims as many of them prepared for this solemn day.
It's been a rough year for us, but we're trying to be strong and move on with our lives, remembering the past and remembering him as he was a happy man.
I want to see where my father died. I want to see everything with my own eyes. I want to see the other families.
And in fact, many of those family members will be seeing the crash site with their very own eyes for the first time today. Today is the official memorial service of New York City. It begins at 8 o'clock here at Jacob Riis Park in Queens. At exactly 8 o'clock, Mayor Bloomberg will welcome the family members and will offer prayers in English and Spanish. A choir will sing, and prayers will also be offered by family members. Then at 8:20, the family members will board city buses and be taken to the Belle Harbor crash site, which is only about a mile from here. And then at 9:16, at exactly the moment of the crash, there will be a moment of silence. It is an attempt at healing for the Belle Harbor community, a community that suffered so terribly on 9/11, and then just 2 months later having a second tragedy fall upon them, literally, as this plane crashed in their neighborhood. And then also, of course, an attempt for healing for the so many family members who are still grappling not only with a terrible loss, but also so many questions as to what caused this crash. We'll be here for the memorial service as it begins at 8. I'm Carolyn Gussoff reporting from Riis Park. Back now to you in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Carolyn. And by the way, if you are interested in watching this morning's memorial, log on to our website at WNBC.com. We will bring it to you live on the web beginning at 8 a.m.
Other news this morning, police are investigating the beating death of a man in East Harlem. The unidentified 30-year-old was pummeled to death by a group of teenagers at 114th and 3rd Avenue last night. He was pronounced dead on arrival at Metropolitan Hospital. No arrests have been made. Police are not saying what the motive was in the attack. Now let's tell you about that long night for teachers in Ridgewood. Negotiations continue right now all night to avoid a strike.
Hundreds of the teachers are threatening to walk off the job if their demands are not met. Pat Battles in Ridgewood. What's the very latest, Pat?
Well, Jane, good morning. You know, some 5,400 kids here in Ridgewood went to bed last night not knowing whether they'd be coming to class this morning, but it was a sleepless night for negotiators as those talks continue. The lights still burning here at the Board of Education offices in Ridgewood as they try to reach a settlement between the district and some 435 teachers. As you pointed out, those talks are continuing. Karen Joseph is joining us now. She is with the New Jersey Education Association. Karen, you've been monitoring these talks all night, and how's it looking?
Well, Pat, unfortunately, it's not looking very good. It's about 5 a.m. They have really been bargaining since 10 o'clock yesterday morning when there was an early exploratory meeting. Unfortunately, what has happened is, regardless of how many times the association says, switch to the state health benefits plan, save the district over $200,000, the board continues to come back with more onerous plans. They will not get off of this. They want the members to continue paying, to pay more. Then they'll change one piece, then they'll change another piece. It's simply not going anywhere. The membership has given their leadership some very clear messages. No more givebacks in health benefits, and we want the county average salary increase.
Which is?
4.65 to 4.72. What the Board of Education evidently doesn't understand is, although there are 5 REA members bargaining, there are 430 approximately who must ratify a contract. The membership has made it clear, no more givebacks. This board doesn't understand that.
Karen, the courts have not looked kindly on teacher strikes in the last couple of years. As we know, in Middletown, they went to jail, some 200 teachers. In Princeton, they were ordered back to work. What do you think the teachers here in Ridgewood are likely to do if this contract is not to their liking?
Well, the members gave a strike authorization vote approximately a month ago. They will be at the Christ Church at 6 a.m. They, at this point in time anyway, are not going to get a very positive report from their leadership. Middletown was an anomaly. We do not believe the residents of the village of Ridgewood will allow this Board of Education to go after their teachers to that degree. As a matter of fact, I can say without hesitation, all night parents have been stopping by saying, we don't understand the problem. Why won't the board just switch to the state health benefits plan? It's very simple.
Very simple, but yet so difficult. All right, Karen Joseph, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Appreciate it. Good luck up there. As you hear, a very contentious negotiation still continuing. We'll bring you the latest on News Channel 4, 536, 630. We'll keep you posted. I'm Pat Battle reporting live from Ridgewood, turning it back over to you, Jane.
Thank you so much, Pat. The day gets a little longer for New York City's public school students beginning today. The final bell will ring for elementary school kids 15 minutes later in the afternoon. Middle school and high school students will get out 20 minutes later. The dismissal times will also change bus schedules, as you can imagine. So, got any confusion, need more information, call the numbers on the screen. The Office of Public Transportation hotline, 718-392-8855, or the paired hotline, 718-482-3777.
There could soon be a big school bus strike in our area. Members of the Amalgamated Transit Union, the largest school bus union serving the city, Westchester, and Long Island, will hold a meeting tonight to call for a strike. The union says contractors are not negotiating, and their members are looking for higher wages and secure health benefits.
We're ready to wait for your ride on Manhattan's Upper East Side. Subway changes in effect this morning. Let's go to McGee Hickey. She can explain all of this for us. McGee?
I hope I can. Well, Jane, the problem here at the 53rd and Lexington Avenue subway station is dangerous overcrowding on the subway platform because of ongoing construction. The solution to cut back on the number of trains coming in and out of this station, and that's going to make for commuter chaos this morning rush.
It's already an hour commute from my house to my school, and it's going to be like an hour and a half now. It's ridiculous.
From 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
All day they were telling commuters to expect some delays in their rides. For the morning rush, the Queens-bound E and V trains won't be stopping at the 53rd and Lex station to help ease overcrowding. Construction is the problem, squeezing commuters dangerously close to the edge.
It's congested and it's very scary and it's aggravating.
Inconvenience versus safety, and the MTA says it's going with safety. No Queens-bound E and V service between 7:30 and 9:30 a.m.
Well, what can you do? You know, we don't have the power to do anything about it, so we have to go along with it, don't we?
And if you take the 6 train in the morning, the MTA says you won't be able to make a direct transfer to the E and the V either.
I'll take another train, either the R train, which will be more crowded, or I'll take an express bus.
So if all these changes sound confusing, you have at least 2 years to get used to them. This construction project isn't going to be completed until November of 2004. We're live at 53rd and Lex, McGee-Hickey. Back to you, Maurice.
Boy, that's a long wait.
Thinking of getting a helicopter. What do you think?
We're going to park it, though.
Yeah, got bridges closed down.
That's the problem.
The whole thing, too. I don't know.
Hey, Trish, let's go check in, see what else is going on.
All right, you guys, good morning. And other than that, looks like it's a pretty quiet start this morning, just some overnight construction work, but looking good. No fog this morning and the roads are dry, so that is the good news. We'll head outside right now, show you. Panasonic Skycam, here's a look at the George Washington Bridge, and so far so good here. Upper and lower levels in fairly decent shape. In fact, Holland and Lincoln tunnels in good shape for you, too. And the Bell Parkway looking fine right around JFK. Yesterday morning, we had a lot of fog along the Bell Parkway, but you can see this morning clear visibility, so smooth sailing along the Bell Parkway. Lastly, we're doing okay in through Jersey. Westchester, Rockland roadways look good. Alternate side back in effect for you citywide, so all in all, not too bad. Maurice, back to you.
Okay, Trish, thank you. Overseas now, Iraq's parliament is meeting in Baghdad at this hour, and they have just voted unanimously to recommend rejecting the United Nations resolution on weapons inspections. Saddam's son had told them to accept the resolution as long as Arabs are included on the team of inspectors. Yesterday, President Bush said the U.S. is ready to hit Saddam with overwhelming power if he fails to meet UN disarmament deadlines. A U.S. sailor is facing second-degree murder charges for the death of another sailor and is scheduled to be in court this morning. Police discovered the body of Lisa Tedstone last month, and they say she was pushed from the 6th floor of the Milford Plaza Hotel in Manhattan. 29-year-old Brian Cooley of LaPorte, Indiana, was arrested for the crime. He'll be arraigned this morning. Tedstone was a crew member of the USS Wasp, a ship that recently returned from Afghanistan.
A pedestrian was hit in lower Manhattan early today, but fortunately he or she has been released from the hospital. Police say both drivers are saying the other caused the accident, accusing each other of running a red light. Happened around 3 a.m. at the corner of West 17th and 6th Avenue. Both drivers refused medical attention. The pedestrian was taken to St. Vincent's Hospital and then was released.
The nation's Catholic bishops will vote tomorrow on how to handle priests accused of sexual abuse. Protesters gathered outside of the meeting yesterday. They fear the bishops will water down their zero-tolerance rule adopted earlier this year in Dallas. But the bishops say they must protect the rights of the accused priests. Abuse survivors say they will release the names of 600 priests accused of sexual misconduct later on today.
The death toll is rising from those deadly tornadoes that hit 5 states. 35 people died from Louisiana to Pennsylvania over the weekend. Some of those twisted had winds of up to 260 miles per hour. In Tennessee, the tiny community of Mossy Grove was nearly wiped off the map. People living there still can't believe it happened.
I mean, we could tell nothing was left upstairs. The basement windows blew open. It was horrible.
Everything was just shaking and glass started busting, popping out.
Yes, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a war zone.
That storm system was the nation's biggest swarm of tornadoes, the biggest massing of tornadoes since 1999.
Unbelievable. 5:13 on this Tuesday morning. Coming up next, the overseas markets live from London.
Then we're going to talk about tracking market trends with CNBC's Ron Insana.
It's that time of the year again. What time of the year is that? Well, take a look at that big thing behind me. All wrapped up. All it needs is a bow, and it's almost ready to go. Still don't know what it is? All right, well, stick around, and I'll tell you.
It's a treat. Anyway, let's take a look at the weather picture coming up for the next 24 hours. We've got some rain on the way making its return around here. That rain will become heavy at times. Later on tonight into tomorrow morning, it will linger, and then eventually things start to dry on out. We'll splash our way through the forecast together when Today New York returns.
Tell you what I'd do. I'd go downtown and buy me a Mercury or two. See, I'm crazy about a Mercury. I'm gonna cruise.
all Jeep, Chrysler, and Dodge SUV and minivan owners. Reward up to $37.50 cash back on the 02 Mountaineer.
Planning to sell your home or condo this year? You're probably wondering how much it's worth. You can find out free on the web at housevalues.com. So if you're planning to sell, visit housevalues.com today. That's housevalues.com.
When you're a star, you can't have a lackluster body or a dull top. So I decided to give the whole works a makeover. Uh-oh. Better get Mako.
See Mako for Ambassador Paint, $229, and get a free estimate on body repair.
We all know how important it is to share, and that's what the North Shore LIJ Health System is all about. Bringing together 18 community and teaching hospitals, helping them share resources, medical breakthroughs, and proven approaches to clinical treatment to help make patients better and healthcare better at the same time. We think it's a beautiful idea, and apparently the people we care for do too. North Shore LIJ, setting new standards in healthcare.
Lease a 3 Series with all-wheel drive for $349 a month, only at an authorized BMW center.
5:16, nice and humid out there, 55 degrees, and we're talking Christmas tree.
Yeah.
For Rockefeller Center.
Your point would be, I mean, it is November.
I guess you're ready for it. Let's bring it on.
So where'd they find the tree this time, Joe?
In New Jersey, as a matter of fact, tucked away in a far corner of New Jersey, almost all the way back into Pennsylvania. And this is the first time a tree has actually been chosen because somebody sent in a picture. They liked the picture so much, they came out, took a look at the tree, and they thought it was great. So it's coming to Rockefeller Center. And let me step out of the way, you can take a look at this tree. Of course, it's hard to tell much about it right now. First of all, it's dark outside, but secondly, it's all wrapped up, just about ready to go. It is 76 feet tall, 43 feet wide, it weighs 7 tons, I'm told, or at least that's the estimate. And it is 75 years old. It's a Norway spruce. Now, about 10 o'clock this morning, if we move our camera over to the left, you'll see it. There's a large crane standing by right there. They're going to attach the tip of that crane to the top of that tree. The crane gets a little longer. To the top of the tree, they cut it down, and then they'll lay that tree on a 115-foot trailer and bring it over to Rockefeller Center. Now, what happens there? Well, in case you've been on Mars in the past few years, like the past 70 years, this is what happens. Let's show you. This is last year's ceremony. This is the tree lighting ceremony at Rockefeller Center. This year, by the way, as you heard, it is the 70th annual tree lighting. This year, the tree lighting happens December 4th of 2002. Of course, you can watch it on NBC. Our show begins at 7 o'clock and ends at 9 o'clock. The actual tree lighting happens at 8:50 in the evening, so you'll certainly want to watch that. And then again, you'll want to come down and see the tree because the tree is there until January 4th. And it'll be lit every night, and of course it's wonderful and beautiful. This year, 30,000 light bulbs, just like last year, multiple colors, I'm told. And there it is. So, and tomorrow, we'll watch it get placed at Rockefeller Center. So that's what's happening here. Back to you.
Hey, Joe, they got other trees on the property. I guess that one's not the only one, right?
It's kind of
Let
dark
me look,
out.
huh?
Yeah.
You had to think about it, didn't you?
Hey, don't be cutting that thing down early, okay?
No, don't you worry.
All
I did
right.
bring an axe, though, somewhere.
Oh, you did?
Oh, gosh. Thanks, Joe.
You never know where they need help.
We
really.
stumped them there, huh?
Oh!
Gee, I didn't
You're
think
really
about
branching
that.
out in your joke telling.
Yeah. I can't see the forest for the trees.
Let's move along. All right, it's cloudy out there this morning. No rain yet, but the clouds are going to produce quite a bit of rain before this morning's through. 55 degrees with the cloudy sky. Rest of the Northeast, 40s and 50s doing it. Some cooler air to the north. Notice this morning in places like Binghamton and Albany in the lower 40s. And as this storm draws northward, it will pull down some of that cooler air. So temperatures today actually will be heading downward instead of climbing. But from the Gulf of Mexico all the way through the Carolinas into Virginia, and now right around the Mason-Dixon line, the leading edge of that rain is streaming northward, and that's all heading in our direction. We are not going to escape this one. Some of that rain could become quite heavy at times later on today and tonight. Storm track shows this is from yesterday, the storms that moved on by. Now we're just starting to see the leading edge of the new rain shield, if you will, or the new storm that's heading in our direction. And this one will be much more substantial in terms of the amount of rainfall we see around here before all is said and done. So rain develops from south to north later this morning into this afternoon. Could become heavy at times later today on into tonight. This low pressure area will sort of lollygag its way up along the coastline so that the rain is likely to linger into at least part of tomorrow before things dry out in the afternoon. And then we get a shot of cooler air. The real cold stuff stays to our north and west for the balance of the week. But temperatures do get back to where they should be, if not slightly below normal by the end of the week. 55 today. The rain moves in. Rain heavy at times late. Then a drier late afternoon tomorrow. Thursday and Friday not bad. Partly cloudy, low 50s, and 48 on Saturday with some sun and clouds. But again, this is going to be a good soaking rain. We're talking about perhaps in some spots of 2 inches of rainfall. So tomorrow morning's commute going to be messy, and the evening commute tonight will be messy as well.
It's going to be hard to cut that tree down, too.
They'll get it down before the rain starts.
A little muddy.
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
You going out on a limb with this forecast?
Yeah, about a minute and a half to come up with that one.
Let's go overseas and check the markets.
Let's take you live to London and Etna Trainer. Good morning.
Well, good morning to you. And it's raining in London too, actually, but not dampening the spirits of Vodafone here. We do like to talk over in Europe, and the results from Vodafone, the first half figures doing incredibly well. 30% rise in first half earnings. Average revenue per user has been, just boosting up there. Everybody's sending data down the phone. I mean, there's an awful lot of activity going on, so really helping this company. EPS up, dividend up. And of course, this is the company that's in partnership with Verizon over there in the US. Vodafone is the biggest company in Europe here, the biggest mobile operator. And again, it's the data that's driving this. It's all the new services. And in fact, the last time I was in the US, you could see all the messaging that works incredibly well between the US, between UK. It's the type of stuff that you've got to get everybody in New York doing. Vodafone messaging. I think Verizon can learn from it. That's about it.
Okay, thank you, Etna. In this uncertain economy, among the questions everybody has are where to invest and how do I protect what I already have? CNBC's Ron Insana offers plenty of insight in his new book. It's called Trend Watching, and he dropped by to talk about it. Ron, welcome to Today in New York. Good to have you.
Maurice, thanks. Nice to be here.
It's a pleasure. Trend watching, you advise us to assess current conditions, then move forward with our investments, right?
Yeah.
So do that for me. Cheat here. Do a little homework for me.
Well, I think that, the one thing that people really have to do in an environment like this, which is far more difficult to navigate than when you had a big market move to the upside, a trending market for 18 to 20 years, you have to pay attention. You have to start looking at how history describes a post-bubble environment, and that's what we're in right now. And these markets can be a little more difficult. You can get some big ups, you get some big downs, but you don't get that straight upward movement. So
I'm sorry, Ron, but they're daily headlines. Fed cutting rates last week.
Yep.
Christmas spending season is going to be light this coming year.
Yeah.
What's all that mean? How's that play into this?
Well, it's a tough environment, and it means the market's probably going to be more erratic than it used to be, at least for more erratic than we're accustomed to seeing it. And that means, again, you have to play rallies. You have to find groups of stocks that are inexpensive and cheap. It means doing more homework. It means really paying attention. The 1982 to 2000 was a relatively easy environment. You could invest in the stock market and sit back. This is a much different environment. You can't sit back. You can't put your head in the sand. You can't pretend that things will simply get better and then everything goes in a straight line higher. You have to really pay attention to the headlines, to the market news, all that type of thing.
Also in the headlines, President Bush, he's got the Republican Congress now, the talk of the tax cut. He's got to find a new SEC chairman. What about those two factors?
Well, I'll tell you, one thing, Maurice, that's different from previous post-bubble or post-mania environments is that the economic policies being put in place are actually beneficial to the economy and the stock market. If the president can pass some of these tax changes, like eliminating double taxation on dividends, cutting the capital gains tax, this could be a big help to the market. In the 1930s, the government made mistakes when it came to policies like these, and it prolonged the bear market and prolonged the recession/depression. We don't have those problems at the moment. The Fed's been very good, and it looks like the federal government might have some decent economic policies as well.
What about warnings of deficits, though? We're hearing that, too.
Listen, any Democratic economist will tell you that during tough times, you run deficits, you don't run surpluses. So that's actually a smart thing right now. You just don't want them to get out of control.
Finally here, you say in a bubble, insiders reap the rewards while outsiders are left holding the bag. At the end, you say, be very conservative as you use your best judgment. Help
people
me here.
didn't. People thought that if you bought a stock that had .com in it, it would go up forever. You have to wonder why company CEOs were selling those stocks as you were buying them. You have to pay attention to what the insiders are doing, what the smart money is doing. And a lot of smart money got out at the top, and the public was pouring in at that time. So you really have to take a look at what the people in the know are doing, and a lot of that times that could save you a lot of money. It's a very critical element that people forgot in 1999 and 2000.
And right after this segment, you'll tell me where your money is, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ron. Book is called Trend Watching. Don't be fooled. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Maurice.
And if you'd like to read an excerpt from the book Trend Watching, you could log on to our website, WNBC.com. Ron said he's in cash.
Did he really?
Yep. Good place to be.
Under his mattress, or?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I'm glad you got that information out of him.
Yeah.
Belly one up for the pilot. You don't want to miss this amazing rescue scenes. It's coming up next. We're going to tell you exactly what happened.
And then, city guys versus country guys. Who is more fertile? That answer when we come right back.